This is historic. This is the first neighborhood council meeting for 2016, 2017. Why are you guys doing this? Okay, we'll try to, I know the agenda, thanks to Molly. Molly's been really helpful with this. The agenda says 7:05 to 10:05. I think the goal here is to get out of here before 10:05, right, Molly?
Yes.
Anybody? Warriors win. Warriors win? You mean Lakers North? Okay, let me just give you a quick little rundown why we're here today versus the 21st. My name is Tom Soon with the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, and we are the department that oversees the neighborhood council system, 96 neighborhood councils throughout the city of Los Angeles. You guys are part of what's called Region 8, the Northeast Neighborhood Council. So along with Lasso Park, you guys are in the same region as Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Boyle Heights, what's called LA 32 is also, and a couple other groups that we'll do that more depth. And you'll learn. I know many of you here. Who's this? I think who's this is the first time you're on neighborhood council? Guys, you show hands. Wow. Okay. So then, the reason at the next training the next meeting that you see from my emails is at the 21st. That's when we'll officially do a recognition of the former board members for the chief administration, and then we'll do official welcome to your board here. And the reason why we're doing this is because that once the elections have been certified, in which they have, I think your elections was on May 21st? May 21st. There was a challenge period. The challenge is over. That means the new board is in place, right? And the challenge with this is that if some neighborhood council, what's in their bylaws, which I passed out to you guys, is that the executive committee sets the agenda for the next meeting. Now, what's been happening there? There's two. So going back to the reasons why we're here is that there's a deadline that we're trying to help work with you guys on. Your bylaws specifically state in terms of electing permanent executive officers. You guys have limited yourselves to July, which means that you guys are a month out from having official officers. Why is that important? The reason that we're here today is that you see from the agenda, you guys are going for 1 month do interim officers until July. The reason for that being is that it comes down to the funding deadlines which you guys have. City of Los Angeles gives each neighborhood council, when we first started, it's $50,000 of, for lack of a better term, taxpayers' money for you guys to use for the community. Not for going to Vegas, not for going to trips, okay, but to help operational expenses, community beautification, and grants to support schools and nonprofits. The city goes from, so that money, when I say you get it for that year, it's not the calendar year, from January to December. The city works what's called fiscal year, which is July 1st to June 30th. So in one sense, for all the Region 8 groups, it's good in the sense of like starting in July, you guys will have $37,000 ready to go, to spend. But in the meantime, though, you guys still have some. Well, I say the current board, you still are charged with 1 more month left of some funds that the previous fiscal year 2015, 2016, that's still outstanding. And the idea with these neighborhood councils is, look, you have 2 choices. We don't meet, and then we just wait until July for your next board meeting, which all neighborhood councils, since they don't have election of officers yet, the department will usually help facilitate the first meeting. In the spirit of making sure that you guys do. So the first option is, you don't want to screw it. You guys just meet the 21st, because the deadline for funding is June 17th, this Friday. Okay, so it's very time crunch here. And then, so we have 2 options. We either have like a special meeting, which we're having here today, to give you guys an option to spend your remaining funds, or we just wait until the 21st, and then the money goes back, not to pay my paycheck, but the money goes back to what's called the city's general fund. Any neighborhood council funds not spent goes back to the city's general fund. In previous years, I don't know what was this past year, previous years, 96 neighborhood councils, 500,000 plus went back to the general fund. Okay, so it's not your council that's having this challenge of lose it or spend it. Okay, what you'll find out later on, I'm not going to get into it today, just because we're going to focus on kind of some of the things on the agenda in terms of there's some expenditure that's still outstanding that the council needs to discuss, and there's some expenditure that I think I'll send an email to the board members saying, look, you know, what do you want to spend it on? And that's what you got here from the agenda. So the goal tonight then. And so the goal tonight also is, to, like I said, to figure out remaining funds, to elect an interim executive committee. Why is that important? Because in order to sign off on funding, we need an interim treasurer. And we spoke to Molly about this, because she's the current what's called this. In order to spend funds, we need 2 signatures, one from the treasurer and one from the second signatory. And currently, you're the second signatory, at least for temporary. I know you don't like it, but it's, you know, but so we talked about funding. The best way to get someone temporarily, and then if Molly stays on as a second signatory with a card, and then we go from there. Okay. So your money is, let me see. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Yes.
And for the person who elects to act as the treasurer going forward, there's a couple of things from the bylaws you should know about. One of which is that the treasurer, the second signature, may not approve anything more than $50 without board approval. Second, the treasurer is obliged to submit to the city and the board by the end of June, a fiscal year. Right.
Yeah, so that's thank you so much for that. So it's listed on the agenda as well, in terms of the duties of it says right here on the agenda that without board approval, up to $50 can be spent. Thank you so much for that clarification. So that's kind of like where we're at right now. Looking at your funding, what's left, and then we'll get into it later on. Just a little breakdown is that you have in your checking account $1,073.44. In your city account, $5,743.26. Yes. So in the checking account balance, you have $1,073.44. And the city account is $5,743.26. So if we add that together, I can't do math in my head. What is it? 6,800. Okay, we'll use a calculator. Okay, but that's how much money you guys have left, okay? And that's, thank you. Okay. So then, so that's how much you guys have left, okay?
And when do we have to spend that by, or it goes back to the general fund?
Now, Friday.
We have to actually spend it before Friday.
Well, we need the paperwork to be turned in, to be spent, but like the proper documentation and paperwork, you know. Like I said, it's not the ideal situation in terms of timing, but we're trying to work with you guys.
You guys should change the elections so that nobody gets in this situation. Just a little bit of feedback.
You know, depends on who you talk to. I'll get to you, Marge, is that, what's your name tag this week?
Sorry.
So then, Jamie's mentioning, you know, one of the things that we did in your stipulation, remember you guys turned in a stipulation worksheet for the previous board members, is that in that stipulation worksheet, you guys stated that we gave you a choice. Did you think it's a good idea to have all city elections after July 1st? That would make sense, right? So there's not this big rush thing there. So yes, it's under consideration, but I don't think it's really up to. It's a whole.
Or like April at the latest, so that you at least have a chance to meet as an official board and not have to do this whole special meeting interim officer.
Yeah, I mean that's the challenge with the boards is that a lot of boards, you know, wait, and this is not a knock on anything. People are just busy. They wait until the last, you know, technically, yeah, my funds could be spent. Margie.
Well, now that brings up a second question. Maybe it would be smart to, stipulate that in April, all neighborhood councils that are going to do this kind of election very late should look at the remaining funds in April or May and then not have to wait. Obviously, But also, when you say we need to spend it and have the worksheets in or the paperwork in on Friday, that's not a receipt. That's an order. Like if we order something online, for instance.
Yeah, as a funding request, once you guys
right. But the backup paperwork could be a confirmation order from an online company as opposed to an actual, we've received your money receipt. Because I mean, obviously, we're not gonna receive the money by Friday.
No.
They're not gonna give us a receipt, we're just gonna get an invoice.
Yeah. Well, there's also another funding form request you have to fill out to, we need a board vote count form and all that, the paperwork there too. And I brought the paperwork for Mario. I say Mario, the gentleman kind of overseeing the funding. His name's Armando Ruiz, but working right under him is Mario Hernandez. And I brought in the paperwork to sign this treasurer and second signatory. Definitely let them remember the roles and responsibilities of the treasurer. Okay? So that's kind of where we're at right now. This is the reason why we're trying to be here. So you're not the only council that's kind of going through this. So off we go. Okay? So then, yes?
I noticed that Apple One's not here, so are we supposed to be taking minutes?
After we do what I have is I brought in the forms to kind of note who's here, who's not, and then we can use that to kind of
And do that vote tally sheet?
the vote tally sheets. And once the interim secretary gets elected, if that person would like to do that, that'd be fantastic. Okay.
Is this the outreach committee or is this the stakeholder meeting?
This is the stakeholder meeting.
When did it start? I didn't hear a roll call.
Not yet, because that was a board. That was welcome right now. So we're here. We'll follow them.
Okay.
That was a welcome and introductions here.
And will those who are not here, will their absence count against the bylaws requirement that they not miss 4 meetings in a year or 3 in a row?
We would note that this is an official meeting, so we'll
It's
note
not an
that.
official meeting.
Why is it not an official meeting? Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and record this, and then we
I
can figure
think
out.
that there was confusion. I think that he was asking if this was an official meeting, and then I thought that you thought that he was implying it wasn't, and you said, why isn't it an official meeting? And then he thought you said this isn't an official meeting, which is not what you said. So
No, it's
just,
official. It's
It is official.
It's official. It's a
Okay.
meeting of the board.
Jim, he said it's
This forum.
official.
This forum here. Okay. Yes, we will get into so that was, do you answer James?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, to answer Jim's question, that we were doing welcome introductions. Okay, so we'll get to the roll call right next. But I think as in terms of introductions, you know me now. So let's just go around really quick. Just
What was your name again?
Tom Sue. Just call me Mr. Sue.
I'll look at my email later.
Okay. Tell me. Okay, let's go around and put your name this way. I can see. Just to be. Oh, you're the Henry. Right? This is the Henry Wong. It's like, are you? I've never seen this song. Okay, John Henry Wong. So tell us just really quick. Tell us what position you're in, and just one issue that you're passionate about. So,
I went in as a business representative, and I just want to be part of the community and help out as much as I can. And I'm kind of happy that I'm here because it seems pretty cool, and I just hope that we can make stuff happen, good stuff happen.
sweet. Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie Ramirez, Area 3 rep, and sustainability is kind of my issue, both like sustainability from an environmental perspective as well as like community things, kind of economic sustainability, addressing issues of gentrification and growth and all of that. So,
Okay.
I'm Ben Dysinger, I'm the at-large representative, and I joined because I want to see Glass Park become more active and engaged with what we have going on. So my whole thing is getting people out and knowing what's happening around the community.
Cool.
I'm Molly, and I'm a business rep, and my goal is to empower our community to be a part of the conversation as our community changes.
I'm Laura Cuban, I'm the Area 1 rep, and my goal is to help my fellow neighbors with neighborhood cleanliness and safeties. They're all very proud of their community and very sad and sort of downtrodden when, there's not a legal method and they don't feel safe in their own community. So,
Garcia. I'm the educational rep, and I'm very passionate about outreach to youth, to schools, and also helping in schools that are very underfunded. For example, Glassell Park Elementary doesn't have money for toner and paper next year. So things like that, I'd like to help them out, help out the community schools.
Marshall County, and I'm an organization rep, and this is my second term on the neighborhood council, and I'm here because I've lived here a very long time, and I see changes in the community, and I want to be a part of it.
Brian Frobisher, faith-based rep, and I think I mostly want to help out with outreach and just getting the council more involved in more opportunities around the neighborhood, things that can help the neighborhood.
I'm Patrick Clary, and I'm interested in sustainability issues, and maybe look forward to sustainability I'm interested in also transportation mobility issues, especially as we fletcher.
I'm Heather Thomas. Passionate about a lot of things that you guys have said, getting the community involved and safety or confinement activities.
I do want to acknowledge Ruby Devera, one of the former board members from the previous administration. So she's also Gladys, right? Quintanillas?
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge the former board members there. Now, like I said, on the 21st, we'll be doing the official change over here. So thank you so much for Mr. Jim. For being here as well. You know, we do that roll call. I think it's always fun to kind of hear a little bit about what people's passions are: sustainability, underfunded education, better for the community, right? And what you'll find out on the 21st when we do a training is that none of you guys, in your statements here, said that you guys joined the neighborhood council to learn about parliamentary procedures or bylaws, right? But as the gentleman Jim pointed out, that those are some of the stuff that's very important as you have those passions, but also to kind of figure out and learn some of the way we do things here. You know, so you guys are kind of a quasi-city entity, you know, and representing government. So we'll have a fun time learning together. Okay. On that note, let's move forward. Okay, so let's do the quick. That's welcome introduction. Next on our agenda is we will be doing roll call and determination of a quorum. If I say your name, if you are here, please say yes. Laura Huben, Area 1. Okay. Jamie Ramirez, Area 3.
Yes.
Heather Thomas, Area 4. Billy Greenfield, Area 5. Excellent. Patrick Clearly, Area 6.
Here.
Great. Marie De Antonio, Area 7. Okay, Tony Macias, business rep. John Henry Wong, business rep. Molly Lynn Taylor, business rep.
Here.
Sandy Garcia, that's the education.
Here.
Brian Frobisher, faith-based.
Here.
Chris Alves, organizational rep. Marge Payne, organizational rep. Biani.
Here,
Oh, all this time I've been calling you.
everybody does.
Sorry.
Everybody.
Okay, so Benjamin Dissinger, at-large rep.
Dyson.
I pictured so many good names, I apologize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. I think for your bylaws, what is the quorum?
Let's say we got 14 board members.
But per the city, you have to have a majority of 15, no matter whether seats are occupied or not.
Which
Correct.
we do, so let's.
So you do, but just
Correct.
saying.
Yeah, so let me elaborate on that and we'll go forward. Is that what Jim was getting at is that there's no floating quorums within the city of Los Angeles, within your bylaws. The quorum is fixed, it's set no matter what. Meaning that even if you have like 5 vacancies and only 10 board members, your quorum is still 8. Understand? Okay, that's good. Okay, so we have 10, so we're ready to go. 10 present, 3 see, 3 absent.
Four.
Who was the 4th absent? Who was the 4th absent? Billy, Marie,
Tony.
Chris. Oh, Tony. Tony. Okay. There you go. Thank you. So Billy, Marie, Tony, and Chris are not here. Okay. Okay. First order of business is the selection of interim officers. The first position is, so now we're going to have nomination. The first position is the chair position. Presides, if you follow along with your bylaws or the agenda, list right there, presides at general stakeholder executive committee meetings, officially represents the GPNC and any coalition of neighboring councils and acts as a spokesperson unless the chairperson delegates this role to another board member, sets the agendas for executive committee meetings. If the executive committee meeting does not meet to establish the agenda for a general stakeholder meeting, the chairperson is responsible to do so. Make determinations as to standing and special committees with board approval. Have general supervision of GPNC activities. Perform such other duties as may be required. Do we have any nominations for interim chairperson? Jamie?
I would like to nominate Marge because she's second term and she lived in the neighborhood for a very long time and she's been very involved and she's always here.
Okay, so we have one nomination for Marge P. Iman.
Can I second?
No, you do. I was going to offer to be secretary, because I've done it before, and I can do it.
So you,
I would rather be secretary than chair.
okay, so public comment is,
and GPNC chair.
let's get, this is just temporarily, so we need some, so Marge, just a yes or no for chair.
It is so not my area, leading a meeting and drawing up agendas.
Okay, so we
I would
just say,
seriously rather not.
okay, so then,
That said, if no one else will do it, of course I will do it, but.
this is for 1 month. Okay?
Everybody's head
We're
is
gonna
swiveled
do
over
it again.
here.
We're gonna do this again in July. So
So
March withdraws unless someone else calls.
Marge, now you should nominate someone. Yeah, hot potato.
Is not you.
Thomas, people can self-nominate, correct?
Just when I'm not gonna be here on the 21st.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
so. But I'll do it, but in July, sure.
Yeah, be better if someone was just for the someone was-
For the interim, yeah.
But this would be interim for June and July. You have to start the meeting in July.
Right, but in July.
July, it happens right away, so it's really just the selection of officers,
I know, but they're still drawing up the agenda for July.
the secretary.
You are the same person in this case.
You just pull it up from last time, right?
Okay, so far, Marge, yes or no? Are there any others? Okay, so
Look on your
Patrick,
face, Molly.
For 1 month.
Just keep sinking.
Patrick clearly nominates Molly.
This is the experience.
So we're gonna need a second, just in case. Do you need a second?
I second that.
Brian Frobisher, second. So I'm gonna say, Mark, you decline.
I was co-chair. You want to do that?
No, because we need to do a secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so so Molly's been nominated and Brian Frobisher seconds. Any, Molly, do you accept?
Does anybody else want to be interim chair?
Speak up, please.
I would be willing to do the interim, as long as it's not like, oh, you were the interim and now we're picking chair, so you have to stay it if nobody else. Can I decline permanently?
You can just resign.
You can always.
You can resign.
Okay.
Okay, so Jamie self-nominates. Okay, is there a second? Okay, so Marge, second. So Molly, are you withdrawing or you just want to
So, can I ask you a question? Okay. So, in a separate life in Glassell Park, I'm also the president of the Glassell Park Improvement Association. So I just want to state that for the record, because I don't want it to be brought up as 50 million emails to the city. So I just want to know if I step forward for this 1 month, because I have the institutional knowledge for how to put agendas together and how to chair a meeting, what will the department position be on me serving in both capacities?
It comes down to what Molly's referring to, conflict of interest. There's nothing that precludes you from joining other boards. So then only it'll come up when that if there is some funding items that has to do with the GPIA, then Molly would have to, any one of you that are affiliated with some of the nonprofits would have to consult with the city attorney first. And if funds come up for that organization, they would have to be recusal. But there's nothing, I'm not saying anything in your bylaws that prevents you from being another chair of another organization. So that's also putting that out there. So then some other councils have put it in the bylaws that you can't be a chair of 2 neighborhood councils. I've seen that. Trust me, there's been some folks, believe me. So to answer your question, that no, there's nothing that prevents you from being the chair of Glassell Park. You just have to be very careful what hat you wear when it comes to funding and who you're representing or you're out there.
What about the Queen of Glassell Park?
I think you should accept that official title.
Okay, hold on a second. We're gonna do this a little bit formally because every time, folks, just let you know that the public has an opportunity to provide public comment when we're doing this too. So we're gonna let the public conversation.
I apologize, but it's hard to hear you when you're not facing me.
Okay,
So I did not hear you use the word recuse. So if you did, then thank you.
Yeah, he explained the specifics of it.
Yeah, so that anytime any funding or any like land use, anytime there's funding with a Glassell Park neighborhood council, they're asking the permit association are asking for funds. There's Molly would need to recuse herself. We'll talk to the city attorney first. But what I'm saying is there's nothing that prevents anything in bylaws from any city charter that prevents her from being a chair of another organization. Okay, you guys have that?
Then I think Molly should be the queen.
Okay. Well, the queen is putting her bylaws. I don't know. So okay. So then, based on that, then so Jamie, then do you?
Yeah, just skip me.
So Jamie with
Molly seems like she's warming up to the idea, and she knows how to do this because she prepared these documents, I believe.
Okay. So any other comments from the public regarding this? Okay. And we're going to go ahead. I know it says in your bylaws to do a hand vote, but per the Brown Act, you guys would know this as well, is that we asked that all of your votes, just like city council, be counted. So there's no secret feelings getting hurt. There's no secret ballots. Okay, so everything has to be done in the public. So the easiest way that we'll do this, since there's only one, and this is a kind of not the trick of the game, is that since there's only one candidate there, okay, and then the way to go ahead and do this way. So the motion right now is to nominate and to elect Molly Lynn Taylor for the position of interim chairperson. Are there any abstentions? Are there any no's? So do you see that? So if there's no abstentions, then no's. Common sense would be the rest are yeses. So unanimously, congratulations, Molly Lynn Taylor, you're the interim chair. Hey, okay.
1 month, that's it.
1.5 months.
I'm sorry, but I'm the bylaws chair, so I take every opportunity to educate. In such an election, abstentions do not count one way or the other, against or for a candidate. But when you come to an action item that is being voted upon, an abstention per our bylaws counts as a no.
Thank you.
All those people who've been abstaining have actually been voting no all this time.
Okay, so with that, let's move forward. Okay, so with a vote of 10 yes, 0 no, and 0 abstentions, Molly is in. Okay, nominations for vice chairperson. Presides, Vice Chair presides and performs in the absence of the chairperson, attends neighbor council coalition meetings, is responsible for program and speaker invitations for the general meetings, performs duties delegated by the chairperson whereas required, be responsible for managing the board's key policy and standing rules. Nominations for Vice Chair, please. Oh, Brian.
I self-nominate.
Okay, so Brian Frobisher self-nominates. Second.
Second.
Patrick Clearly.
Clearly.
Say for me again.
Clearly, no L.
What is it?
Clearly.
No, there's one.
Oh, Clearly. Okay.
I know, but not a second.
I was gonna nominate Benjamin
Okay, hold on,
because
let me-
he's sitting
okay.
next to Molly already.
Okay. So then, hold on. Brian. So Brian, you self-nominate. Patrick, you second. So Brian, I assume you. That means yes. You want to. Okay. So Vice Chair. Okay. Anyone else?
I was gonna nominate.
Okay. Jamie Ramirez nominates Benjamin
Dysinger.
Dice.
I see it. Okay. Any second?
I second my
Sure,
own.
sure. Okay, so Benjamin, second. Okay. Okay, so now there's two, so we have, so you accept, Isaac? Okay, so now we have two candidates for vice chair. Are there anyone else? Okay,
Can I make a comment?
sure.
Would one of you be willing to go for maybe another position so we don't have to split the vote?
Sure. Yeah, remember, this is only 1 month. Figure out.
Well, we're doing common. I was leaning towards vice chair just so I could learn the position and see for next month kind of how it feels and what the responsibilities are. If not, you can self-nominate for a member at large and still kind of do the same thing. So for an interim position,
Okay. Brian, any comments?
I don't, it's either or, it's fine with me. How do you want to handle it?
Okay, so there's a
Point
really,
us.
Point us.
so I think Benjamin Dysinger
there you go.
mentioned that he's willing to go to members at large.
Okay.
So that means that if you're willing to do that, then we'll get there. But that means, Brian, you're the only candidate for vice chair right now.
So far, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Any comments from the public? Okay. No, but he's withdrawn.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, because he's looking for at large. Because Molly did that, right?
Yeah, we go to the same meeting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So we just put it down. So Benjamin withdraws. And we'll get to the at large. Unless some people want to do it. Okay. So for Brian Frobisher, there's a. Brian nominates and Patrick Cleary seconds. Okay. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
It's not wrong thing, man. There's 1,600 of you guys. It's one of you. 1,600 board members. Okay, so then, okay. Are there any no's? Are there any abstentions? Any abstentions, any no's? Congratulations, Brian. Yay. Okay. So 10 yes, 0 no's, and 0 abstentions. Okay. Let's go to the most fun position of all. Treasurer. Receives and dispenses funds and issues receipts, makes disbursements with appropriate documentation. Without board approval, up to $50. With board approval, requiring a second signatory above that limit. Establishes and maintains bank relationships, prepares monthly reports of receipts, expenditures, and balances, maintains permanent files for review and audit and assures availability for review by stakeholders. Maintains separate records of receipts, expenditures for programs and funds. Nomination for treasurer. This was actually, guys, by now, probably the most important position this week. Because we need a treasurer along with the second signatory. Because we have Molly with it already to kind of get the funding all paid off after today. So any nominations for a treasurer, please? Jamie.
Yeah, I'll self-nominate
Oh.
because I've completed and been certified on all my training, and I have a feeling that's going to be required. And I looked at the website, and there are only 3 of us who fit that. And
Yeah, I don't know how updated that thing is right now, so I'll check it out.
well, mine was updated
That's
after
fine,
I
that's
took
fine.
mine, so if
So Jamie bravely nominates herself, okay? And then Heather Thomas seconds.
but I plan to resign from this because I have 0 interest in money stuff
So we have
long term.
anyone else? Any comments from the,
Just a comment, the old board has no treasurer. She timed herself out by missing 3 meetings in a row, so hopefully, Molly, you can get any records she has available so that you can do a month-end report.
I have her email address as well.
Okay.
okay. Any other nominations for treasurer? If not, thank you for public comments. All those abstain? All those noes? Congratulations, you are the temporary treasurer. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Then yes, you're okay. Good. Alrighty, so we'll definitely have to work closely. Okay, right after this. Okay, let's go. We're almost done. Secretary. Nominations for secretary receives materials. If you read it right there, that's kind of the, I'm going to say at the same time, you guys can read it right there. So then, any nominations for secretary? Violet.
Marge Piani.
Second.
If Brian nominates Marge Piani, Jamie Ramirez second. Marge, you accept?
Sure.
Any other nominations? Okay, if not, any comments from the public? Okay.
March would be great.
Oh, a vote of confidence. March would be great. Okay. Okay, so all those, anyone abstain? Any no's? Congratulations, March. You're Yay.
No resigning in July.
You have to vote in the community.
No resigning in July.
Okay, last one. Nominations for interim board member at large. Participates in executive committee meetings, performs other duties assigned by the chairperson. So, who should I? Molly.
Who? Ben D.
Okay, so Molly nominates Ben Dicey.
I second.
Okay, hold on a second.
Jamie.
Jamie, you second like three people.
That's okay.
Very good.
I'm trying to keep things
You're
moving.
getting
Yeah.
practice. And I will type this up better for you guys. I'm just trying to do this. Once you,
Send it
once,
to an email, as an email.
I can take over. I'll send it to you. Okay. So Jamie seconds. Benjamin, do you accept? Okay. Any other nominations? If not, any comments from the public? Okay.
Okay.
Let us vote. Brian, ready to vote? Any abstentions? Any no's? Then congratulations. Alright, so that takes care of the election of officers. And now we're going to go to reports and recommendations for the GPNC treasurer.
Number 9.
Oh, that's right.
Copies of the agenda.
There was here. Let's get the
Public comment cards or.
At this point, we have public comment cards, but since if you want to raise your hand and people will give you. Okay, so let's do the nomination of the second signatory. I think like I said, from the department perspective, I think we should keep the recommendation and the action will be to at least until the end of this this Friday to keep the current second signatory on because you have the card also. So I wouldn't. You know, the card. We could get you the card, but just logistically wise, it makes sense to have. Oh, let me see. Do you guys have an extra agenda?
I do too.
There's some here too.
Oh, there it is. Over there. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so the action would be to nominate and elect an interim second signer. So you guys heard the nominations.
So what you're saying is that we should try to stick with Molly since she's already a second signature?
Yeah.
Then I nominate Molly to be the second signer.
Second.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So Marge or Molly and Brian, you second?
Yes, please.
Molly?
Only because the department, it's a department recommendation. But
Like I said,
from
in
July.
July, you guys
Yeah.
could, so that, just any comments from the, funding, we got definitely, it's a big one. Yeah. We'll definitely have ADRs and do all that fun stuff. No, I totally agree. Okay, no more public comment. Any Any abstentions? Any no's? Molly, yay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the remaining funding items. So at this point, so your current interim officers are Molly Lynn Taylor is the chair, vice chair is Brian. No, that's not right. No, Brian Fulbright. Okay, your treasurer is Jamie. Your secretary is Marge, and then Benjamin is the at-large, okay? And then Molly is the second secretary, okay? So at this point, I have, so just logistically wise, Marge, I have the board vote count forms with everyone's names on it here. If you want to take over taking the notes.
Sure. Oh, here.
And then Molly, if you want to, I'll chime in. If you want to facilitate the rest of this, I'll leave it up to you. I could do it if you want to take them through this.
That's fine.
Okay.
Alright, so next up is item number 10, report and recommendations from GPNC treasurer. Jamie, I know you're not really in a position to provide this update, so with your permission, I can provide a little bit of insight.
Please do.
Okay, so we'll be looking at items 10A and then A through E, as well as the consent calendar for item B, 10B. Just as an update, Crystal, who was our last treasurer, the last couple of months was in the process of a move, and so therefore that took priority over some of the paperwork. And so there's a lot of work to be done with regards to the paperwork that needs to be completed to end our fiscal year, as well as creating the draft budget for board consideration and approval at the June meeting. So you'll need to pull together the budget committee to, so you'll call that meeting and put together a budget for consideration. It's important that we consider that budget so that we can start our fiscal year.
That has to be done before Friday?
No,
Oh.
no, you have time for that. So we'll try to connect with Crystal and we'll see where she's at, gather everything. I know there's some stuff in the office, and then we'll prepare a report for the next meeting for the board. Okay.
Right again?
Yes.
Just clarification, I think I heard you say for the June meeting, but it's July, right?
It's a June 21st.
We have a June 21st meeting as well.
Oh, there is?
That's the general community stakeholder meeting.
This is a special meeting.
Yeah, I
Had
knew
to
that
be
this
called
was a special
before the
meeting, but I
deadline.
didn't know that there was a stakeholder meeting.
Okay, so yeah, so the point of clarification, there will be a meeting, a regular meeting on the 21st. I believe there's going to be a department facilitated board member training and orientation.
Yes.
Everybody's sworn in, and it's sort of the
You recognize the previous
yes,
presentation.
yes. Okay, so moving on to item 10A. So the board had already approved these items. However, they were not paid, and so just as a matter of protocol, we need to get the approval of the newly certified board, our current board, on these items for approval, for consideration and possible approval. So item 10AA, Avenue TV Studio, which is what was the Southwest Museum item, that was a neighborhood purpose grant for the mural. And so
Before we go forward, can you clarify what it means that they were approved but not paid? Why weren't they paid?
It's Crystal.
Why are they reapproved?
because we have a new board now, and so we just have to reapprove it.
When were these approved?
They were approved at the last month, I believe, before the election took place, and unfortunately they weren't paid, whether for paperwork processing issues or just they weren't paid, just
Yeah, this was approved by the previous. These
Yeah.
ones are approved by the previous.
the previous board.
All the way on down?
No, that's just A and B, right?
Yes, A through E are all items that were approved by the previous board that were not paid, except for item D, which was paid. I don't know what that's on there.
D we paid it, right?
Yeah, D's paid.
D was 750.
I have a question on these. Do they have to be approved as is, or can they be altered?
Well, I
Like
mean,
the-
that's, okay, so It's at the discretion of the board, but just keep in mind that these were already approved and people have expectations that they're gonna be paid, so.
Yeah, so if I could just jump in, Leo first.
Can I just make a motion that we approve all of the things that we've agreed to pay because the previous board voted on it, which in my opinion makes, and I don't know, you guys might not agree, but I think that kind of makes it official. I feel like it's not right to override what the previous board agreed on just because, you know, the treasurer was unavailable.
Okay, so the motion is to approve items 10A, A, B, C, and E. Is there a second?
I second that.
Sandy seconds?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is that, because it all totals to $2,141, is that taking off the surplus that we have right now or not?
Yeah, so let me clarify. So what I read off earlier, the 1,000 plus, and also this 15.
2006,
Right. So this will be deducted from that amount.
Yes.
Okay.
Except the 750.
So we need to keep a run.
Yeah. So take out the 750.
Yeah.
That will be one of
I got the total for this,
Okay, but you didn't,
D is not included?
no.
So D. So say D is not included. It's paid already.
Yeah. Marcia, didn't we get an email from Mario saying that GPNC couldn't be paid because that was reimbursing a board member?
No.
There was a separate
Separate
item.
one for 169.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now we legitimately can make these payments?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a separate thing. Yes.
Okay,
Like Molly and Jimmy mentioned, these were approved by the previous board.
right, no, I understand that, but I thought that I had seen an email from Mario saying that,
It was a different
It's
amount.
a different
oh,
item.
That's $13.91. Is that right?
yes.
Did anyone second?
Okay, yeah, Sandy second.
So
So
can we-
once paid, our total is 54,25,69, which is our city fund as well as our checking account. So I took that off the total, 68,16,69, deducted 1,000, 41, 100, and 260.
Molly? So real quick, just a couple of things, right? So I talked to Mario today also that you would need to do a cash request, just a request form to take that 5,700 and transfer it to your checking account. You can pay the other stuff too. That's not hard to do.
Right, but once we submit our funding request and board votes on the additional funding items, won't it automatically trigger that request for the city fund?
You have to do it. I talked to them. It's not that hard. I mean, there's a form to fill out.
Okay, so we'll do that tonight.
Tomorrow. I have a form for the treasurer, not
But
that.
not that one? Okay, we can pull that off of self-serve though, right?
That's why it's the wrong form.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay, so all you board members here, okay, just keep in mind, the way you guys do, and you can check on me on this, is that you guys do official action, is that board members present and voting, okay? And what that means is that this affects your funding because it won't affect your quorum. It means that those who are ineligible can't get to vote for the items. So what that means is that, let's just say there's 15 board members, 5 are ineligible, and that means you need a majority of 10. Does it make sense? Versus the 15. So it doesn't affect your quorum. You still have, it still counts towards the quorum. But if you're ineligible, you don't get to vote, but it doesn't hurt your quorum. Okay? So what we need is that to do.
No, he's ineligible.
Right, so for each of these items then, you could do it all together, but when we get the funding, the board vote count form, we need to see individually for each of these items.
Yeah, oh, you mean I can't do 10A, A, B, C, E?
Yeah, we need to see
no, it
individually.
needs to all be on separate ones.
Yeah.
Can I do that after the
Yes,
fact?
yeah,
Okay,
we
and also,
just have to know that.
so I need 3 more sheets of paper besides the one that I'm starting on?
Yes, I think I give you the one, that's why
No,
I
I
give you the one.
got it, I'm just saying.
But let's clarify, that's how you guys do, so when it comes to voting for it, that's what
We can't vote on a voting form.
You do a vote of motion, but we need to see the,
Items.
You just need a vote count for each item.
right, yes.
The board vote and funding. I have the template already created. Okay, so at this point, let's take a pause and figure out who is able to vote and who is not eligible to vote.
When you say eligible, that means that you're taking the funding and ethics training. Code of conduct, you have 30 days to do it. So, okay, please, have you taken both?
I've taken all of them. I have the paper that I'm supposed to print out, the certificate.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I forgot to.
That's fine. So you're good. Okay. Jimmy is good. You're good to go. You're good to go.
I have to take it still.
That's fine. It's a no bullshit. Okay, so Marsh?
You're good.
Okay, Brian, you're good to go. Patrick? Independent. Okay.
No, Heather?
So 2-0 for
What did
Jimmy.
I not get right?
It was like a quick turnaround. It was hard to squeeze that in. I mean, that ethics training was long.
2 hours.
It took 2 hours and 40 minutes.
All right, so let's get back to the agenda.
Yes.
So we know who's eligible and who's not. So the motion was to approve A, B, C, and E, and that was made by Jamie and seconded by Sandy. So is there any further discussion on this?
Just one question on E. It says 250 a utility box. Is that just one utility box?
Yeah, it's a stipend for one utility box.
Okay.
Did any comments?
All right, let's take it to a vote, please. March, my calling roll.
Laura,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Heather, oops, sorry. Patrick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Sandy, Brian,
Yes.
yes, Ben.
Yes.
Okay, unanimous, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And 8 is the minimum we have to have.
We have quorum.
We have quorum.
Yep, we have quorum ready.
We're
so
good.
You're good.
Okay, so item 10B,
Did you say that something about the ineligible people don't affect it?
they don't affect
Yeah,
quorum.
No, you're good.
Okay, so next up is 10B, which I put as a consent calendar, just so people kind of know what that is. Those are a block of items that we can approve in one fell swoop, kind of similar to what we did under 10A. But it's already predetermined that that could be a consent calendar. If there's anybody who doesn't agree with the consent calendar, they can request for an item to be removed from that, and then we can move forward with the consent. Unfortunately, I wasn't forwarded the website invoice for more business results, so I don't know what those invoices look like. So just by a matter of default, we'll go ahead and remove that item.
That's operational too.
Yeah. And so what's before us then are Apple One invoices, May for $406.10 and June for $85.47. They believe those to be the most current. There could be additional invoices when people turn in time cards, but that's where we're at.
And what is Apple One?
Apple One is our minute taker.
Okay.
So is there any further discussion on this item? So I have a comment, and $406 for somebody to take minutes in the format that they were presented is absolutely outrageous as far as I'm concerned. We haven't really had minutes posted. They've come back with errors and people here handwriting minutes. I mean, to me, spending $406 for a even pristine, perfect minutes is way too much money, but to have the minutes that were sent back to us, it's like, I can't even wrap my head around it.
That's
So
from one meeting?
that's from 1 month.
But multiple meetings.
No, it's 1 month. Because what they do is they take minutes at the meeting, and then they leave, and they go and they spend additional time reformatting, however they choose to spend their time reformatting, and then they send the invoice to Apple One.
What's their hourly rate?
It's like
It's
20,
a temp agency, right?
it's a temp agency. So there's 3 that are approved by the city. Apple One is just one of them, but they're all pretty consistent in their hourly rate. I believe it's like $21.
They spent 20 hours? That's insane.
May I just say that I have some experience with Apple One when I was secretary. I don't think we ever got charged more than $60 in any month because I asked them to just send me their raw notes because we don't need to provide minutes that are every single word that every single person spoke. We need a record of who attended, what the issues were, what the vote counts were. That's all we need to provide, that's all our minutes need to be. And they just need to be formatted, which pretty much anybody who knows how to use Pages or Word can do. And I took it upon myself to just format the minutes. I think they never were more than 3 pages long. and I mean after. And then it's not a difficult thing, and I liked having an Apple One person there because if I somehow, I was paying attention, it's hard to pay attention to what you're doing as a neighborhood council board member and be taking all the notes. So if I had a discrepancy, I would always check and see what the Apple One person said. But I would usually default to my own notes because I know the people, so I would know, that it was you who made that motion or you who had that problem. So my feeling is it's not an Apple One problem, it's an Apple One direction problem. They were told that they needed to format it, it was sent back 4 and 5 times because the minutes just kept coming back wrong, but no one explained how to fix them, and no one had any information to give them by which they can fix them. So they just kept throwing them back, and nobody fixed anything. So it was just hour after hour after hour of just moving stuff around.
I'd like to see the actual invoice on what they're charging for, because it's 20 hours and continuous revisions. If there's any kind of communication written, I'd like to see that before we approve $406.
3 sets of that somewhere.
Here in the supplemental, so here's the Apple One time cards, and then the individual signed their time cards, and you can see who signed off on them.
What happens if we don't approve it? Are they
Well,
gonna
we
sue
have
us
to
for
have-
compensation?
there's
She's just saying going forward,
Yeah,
it should be more wise maybe.
because they're an approved city
File with the
vendor,
meeting.
we have to pay them for their services, and so at this point, we've got to move forward. So, I'll make the motion to approve items B, I, Apple One, May and June. Aye, sir.
I
That's
second.
it, we,
I
motion.
made the motion.
I second.
I want to make a comment that Apple One is a contracted vendor of the city. So if you do not agree with the presentation of the minutes, you could ask for another.
The person that takes the minutes?
Yeah, another.
Yeah, they rotate them. I've been many, when I was secretary, I always requested someone that I had worked with before, 1 or 2 of the people that have come out.
Did you have a
Because you just know that they're going to be accurate and really be detailed.
Good. Some of them are really good.
Some of them are really good, some of them have no clue at all. So, yes, definitely I've asked. But I always just ask them basically just put it on this thumb drive before you even go home. Because that way I can go home one that's still fresh in my mind and just do it.
Okay, so we have, I made the motion, who seconded?
Brian.
Ryan, any further discussion? Okay,
So this is a vote on item 10B, both Apple One, May and June, for a total of $491.57. Okay, Laura?
yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Heather? Oh, I'm sorry. Billy? Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Me, yes. Ben?
Yes.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Great, okay, moving on, item number 11.
We didn't do BI.
That's because we don't have invoices from more business results.
Okay, so we're gonna
weird.
discuss that later. Do we need to make a motion to?
No, we'll discuss that at the next meeting, there's nothing to discuss. It was pulled from the consent. Okay, item number 11A. Marge, do you want to announce the vacancy?
Sure. There was no candidate for Area 2 during the past election in May, and we are now announcing that there is a vacancy for a board member from Area 2. We will take self-nominations in person
At July meeting.
at the July meeting, and the election will take place at the August meeting.
Does the person have to live in area 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, John? Jim? Or John?
Why would you wait till July?
Don't we, isn't it a 3
It's
month
a 3
process?
meeting thing, but you're announcing the vacancy, it was posted on the website, public
So what
will
you're
be
saying
here.
is we can take self-nominations next week.
That's what I'm saying.
and vote in July.
Can we do that now?
Do we?
No, the way the bylaws work, we announce it at one meeting, self-nomination at the succeeding meeting, election at the third.
It's a 3-meeting process. Ordinarily, it would take 3 months because we meet once a month. This month, we're meeting twice in 1 month. So we could feasibly take self-nominations on the 21st. Okay.
So we're just announcing that it's active.
It's part of our bylaws. We need to announce the vacancy, which we have just done.
Okay, the problem is that on our agenda, it says will be accepted at the July 2016 meeting, and so we're opening ourselves up to challenges if we change that.
Want to revise that?
Yeah, are we at liberty to change that at this meeting? So that it's got
Oh,
the
so
correct
make the
wording
motion.
in the next agenda? Since we haven't posted the agenda yet for the next meeting?
We are opening ourselves up to challenges, in my opinion. If we,
Is there a rush to get it out there?
there is not a rush that I'm aware of.
We've had vacancies for months on end, so,
You got some comments?
well, that's just me. My feeling is that we're opening ourselves up either way.
Yeah, I think the other issue is that this isn't a possible action, this is an announcement.
Right.
And so, therefore, we can make the announcement, but we can't take an action.
So there's nothing that precludes us from including it on the agenda for the next meeting, really? Because we did make the announcement.
So if we did, and somebody disagreed with that, they could pull up this agenda and say, look, I was planning to attend your July meeting, and because I read this agenda and it said July, and I didn't attend your June, I'm gonna file a challenge against your board.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, it is, since there is no urgency, and since no one will be hurt by accepting nominations in July rather than June, whereas it could work the other way otherwise, I think we should leave it at July. Yes?
And it will give extra time for the outreach committee to generate candidates.
There you have
No,
it,
that's the idea.
even better idea.
I have a question. This kind of relates to this. You guys have alternates too, right?
Yes.
And somewhere in your bylaws state that you have to nominate. When do alternates get a chance to kind of nominate?
That was gonna be my question.
It will be, probably at the, I don't know, it depends on how the agenda is drafted.
Okay, because I'm thinking
It's
it's
not a bylaw requirement that it happens in a certain month.
It happens kind of as people decide they want to be alternates.
We have
So we have
several
10.
open alternate positions, we may have up to 10, it's up to the board to decide.
We have up to
We can
10
make a call.
alternates.
But Ben,
Yeah, we found it.
Yeah, according to the bylaws, it says nominations for alternates will be taken at the first general stakeholders meeting of a newly elected board. So
Okay.
21st.
21st.
So, but nominations doesn't mean you appoint them there.
Right. It just says nominations for alternates will be taken.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so let's move on to, the announcement has been made, Area 2 is available, thank you, March. 11B, so discussion on the remaining 2015-16 fiscal year funds. Please correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe after the bills were paid above, we're at $4,934.12.
$491413, $4,914.13.
I have $49.34.12.
Okay, it's in my brain.
So we're all on the same page? Okay. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. And we'll keep that in mind as we move forward with the business. Next up is an item from the Outreach Committee. This is a motion to form and populate a website and IT committee. There is an attachment to our agenda as part of this package right here. I can forward this. Has everybody seen this? Okay, I'll pass it on. So at this point, our website has been managed by a third party, a neutral third party. The Outreach Committee discussed the recommendation to form a website and IT committee to help the neighborhood council update the website, provide content for the website, help post agendas for the website, because outreach and website, it's a lot of work for one committee to take on, so the recommendation is that we form a second committee to help with that process. The official motion was part of the supplement and being passed around. Any discussion? Yes.
I saw it online and it looked like a really good idea.
Okay, any further discussion? Would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion that we, well, to approve B, C?
Yeah.
I motion that we approve 11C. I'll make a motion.
Laura? Yes. Any further discussion? Okay, ready for a vote?
Okay, so this one is non-revolving fund, so everybody's eligible to vote on this one.
Yes, thank you.
Laura?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Molly? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Me? Yes. Ben?
Yes.
Okay, that's unanimous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
So the second part of this item, and there is a process to update our bylaws. So this is not an ad hoc committee. Our recommendation is to update the neighborhood council bylaws to include the website and IT committee as a standing committee. So the board can consider it, take the vote, and then I'll be on the agenda again next month, just as a matter of protocol for updating our bylaws.
Yeah, then
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be many now that they're open for changes.
just for the new board members, as I said, with the bylaws or your governing documents, that we have what's called bylaws moratorium. We open up a window of time which will allow neighborhood councils to make changes to the bylaws. So starting from May of 2016 to May of 2017 is your window of time to make those changes if you want to add things like this. But if you do want to make changes to your board composition, like we got 15 board members right now, you want to do, we love each other so much, we want to do 50 board members, right? Well, then that requires what's called you have to go before a board structural change, and you have to go before you'll learn all this next week, is that you have to go before the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners for approval. Because the bylaws were certified based on that board structure, that's what you guys do, they approved that. That's the most inclusive structure for your community. So you have to really justify why you're going to change the structure.
Okay, so the motion was submitted from the outreach committee to update the bylaws to include the website and IT committee. Is there somebody that wants to push this motion forward?
I will.
March?
Second. Who was that? Jamie?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
And everybody can vote on this one as well. Laura?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Molly? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Marge, yes. Ben?
Yes.
Unanimous as well, 110.
Okay, so is there somebody that wants to be interim chair of the committee, website and IT committee? Is there anybody else? Okay, so as chair, I'd like to appoint Jamie to organize the committee as interim chair. You'll call the first meeting and then allow people to join, and you'll also select your chair and your recorder. Okay.
But if there are others who want to be on the committee, they can identify themselves now.
On the committee or?
On the
Yep.
chief chair interim,
Yeah, you can let
and
Jamie know.
anybody here who a stakeholder.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be-
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. So next up is item 11E. Discussion possible action to approve up to $125 for 2 grip rails. Marge, do you want to speak on this?
Sure. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see that photo, but anyway.
It's the front page, it should be.
So this.
Yeah.
Some of that.
All right, so grip rails are those things that, they're metal and you can put pieces of paper under them and it grips them so that when you're doing a display or you have things that you want to, like architects' renderings or anything like that people constantly bring, and then we're constantly trying to get them on a chair or figure out where we're going to put them. If we had metal rails, not so high you can't reach them, but high enough that they're not going to bother anybody, we could put our documents under them for everyone to see at our meetings. So I'm just thinking of things that would benefit pretty much everybody that uses this room. So I think they're 4 feet long, and for $125 we could get 8 feet worth in case, like when we had people coming, the people who wanted to do 32 homes in Walnut Canyon. They had a ton of paper, and we had no way to display it. People are holding it, and it gets silly. So I just thought that if we put a grip rail up, we would be able to use it for display purposes. Or if we were doing something like, make music, or, you could put kid drawings up there. The seniors have decorations. Everybody who uses this room could probably make use of it.
How do they attach to the wall?
You have to drill them in.
Okay.
Well, you could probably get away with that 3M double stick stuff, depending on how
It
heavy.
still damages the wall when you remove it.
And people are gonna be pulling on it.
Yeah, but you do have to be able to pull on it. It releases, but you don't.
Well, I mean, like, people are gonna be pulling to get stuff out anyway if it's an adhesive instead of being screwed in.
I think that's just asking for something that can crush you.
So that's what a grip rail is.
Any other questions, any discussion?
So this is just to make sure that we don't have all our stuff spread out on that table over there and have a mess.
Or passing them around like this.
Well, I know that mostly it's the land use committee that has the giant stuff that wants to be displayed. And occasionally we'll have spreadsheets or posters, or like when we did the utility box thing, it would have been great to be able to just have something to be able to put art in. Or, I know that in some meetings people bring, like when the East Area Progressive Democrats use this room, they may have like membership lists or money brought in kinds of things on big grants.
Yeah,
It's just a place to put a printout so that you're not constantly looking for, I know, frequently we'll tape it to the glass just because we got nothing else to deal with. And truly, it's just a thought because we needed to spend some money.
And so is the idea that maybe you have one here and then the other in the conference room, or?
Could do that. I've just
It's
on
one
The
in the
reservation is
conference
that it's
There's-
immobile.
It's
rather
too
than
small
like
for any meeting.
a tripod. That's also.
True, but then, a tripod is great.
You have to have a backdrop.
It has to be mounted on foam core or on at least poster board, because something like this isn't gonna stand up.
It's relatively inexpensive, and I don't think it really causes any trouble, so I don't see any problem with it.
And and as another member of the land use committee, we've been saying for ages how we really need this. And pretty much every meeting, we're like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had that? Again, we're kind of putting together some sort of kludge.
Okay, so let's close the discussion then and move this forward. Does somebody want to make a motion? Or makes a motion, Ben seconds. Any discussion? So let's move forward with the vote, and this is a funding item, so those who haven't completed the training.
Item 11E. So Laura,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Patrick, and John,
Yep.
Holly,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
me, yes, Ben?
Yes.
Okay, that's unanimous, so okay.
Okay. So that leaves us with 4800, 480912. Okay, so moving on to item number F, discussion possible action to approve up to 250 for one pull down screen. Mark, this is another one of your items. You want to speak to this?
Sure. Again, I'm thinking about things that everybody will be able to use that will make things easier for everyone. And this is a 120-inch diagonals, that's 58 inches, almost 5 feet, by 104 inches. It's a big screen. And it can be ceiling mounted or right at the top of the wall. And it's a pull down for PowerPoint, instead of using a sheet in the kitchen. That was awful. Yeah. And sometimes they show movies in here for kids and families. I don't think it's something that, I think that a lot more groups than just our groups. And even if we have it for our meetings, we would be able to maybe, post our agenda there, or and supporting documents could actually be shown so that we're not making 7 billion pieces of paper. We would be able to
Sustainability issue.
we would just be able to, show what the, what the children's garden would look like, or the, whatever it is that people are asking.
I think that's a great idea. I was just wondering, did you price out the screens that pull up and are actually mobile? I have one of those in my house. I don't know how much they cost. They're kind of awesome because it's the same function. It just comes up from a different way.
It's a tripod though, right?
No, it's not a tripod. It's a self-standing screen. Take a picture of it and I go.
No, that sounds like a great idea.
I'm not sure how much they cost. I could look it up right now.
We have internet, yes.
The only thing about a movable one is that then it could disappear or be damaged. If it's attached to the ceiling, it's out of the hands of children and random people who are, I don't know.
It may be difficult to attach.
I mean, it's
So
just
the
a
wall.
drop
The
ceiling.
top of the wall. It would have to be
Attach it to the wall.
attached to the wall
I mean,
at the top.
on the wall and the ceiling.
Yeah.
Right. No, my only thing is thinking like if there's something else going on in this room and you wanted to have something, I don't know, have a projector in a different area or in another room.
True.
It's not.
True.
It's the whole screen itself is a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't like.
Do you
Have a
think
fighter.
will come in that kind of giant size?
104 inches.
Yes, it's such a. Well, we price it out and see what the price difference is between what March brought and what the self-standing one is. So we'll come back to item 11F while we look that up. Yes.
Before we can do any installation there, we have to get the approval.
Yeah. That's right.
That's, there's things up there on this, above the ceiling, where we may be interfering with it.
Yeah, it would.
So,
It wouldn't actually connect to the ceiling. It would be at the ceiling on the wall.
yeah, but
But we still-
we still have to get-
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Although I have a feeling they're gonna be like, wow, you're donating to the building a nice piece of equipment. Thank you. I would hope.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. So we'll move on while we're looking at that number. So 11G, which is discussion of possible action to approve up to $200 for one small refrigerator for the office.
Refrigerator?
Yeah.
We had one until Mark Heroes broke it. Oh yeah, he was trying to defrost it with a letter opener. The little one. That's what happened to that. Yeah.
The whole building smelled like Freon. It was disgusting.
Where's your office here?
Yeah, it's here.
So we used to have one, it was broken, now we need a new one.
We used to
We
have
don't
two.
need it. It's just, again, we're trying to spend our money down.
Sure. We had $4,000 and something we used to have.
We used to have it, we did make use of it. We also had a super giant refrigerator in there, but it became a hazmat.
Does it have to be such a tiny refrigerator? Like, I feel like it's gonna be useful. It's gonna be useful because we're putting like trays of food in it. And if you're talking about those hotel
Don't
rooms,
say that. Do you know how the hazmat project became a hazmat
I
project?
know.
Because people
I don't.
left food in
Okay,
there.
I don't know much about. I know that the fridge thing was a controversy. I don't know why, but
I'm happy to retract 11G.
So I'm actually not in favor of a refrigerator for the office just because it's more comfortable in my opinion than it's worth.
because
But
someone has to clean it.
yeah, and if it's small, you can only really put bottles of water or whatever.
It's frosted. It's no alcohol, please.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's useless.
So is there any further discussion on this item? Anybody want to make a motion?
I agree that it's necessary. If we have food, people would love to take it all home.
Oh, absolutely, you can't stay.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to move forward with the refrigerator?
No,
Well,
cancel
we
it.
need to take a vote, right?
I vote that we cancel the refrigerator.
We don't, the
I
motion
see.
can be whatever, but
Okay.
we don't have to,
We just won't act on it.
we don't have to act on it.
It's a dead item.
Nobody wants to make a motion? Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay. Refrigerator saga continues. Okay, so we can go back to item F for the fold down screen.
So for the size that you want, it's more expensive. It's $382.99.
For a pull up.
Does that
But
include
that's-
tax?
Let's see. You gotta buy it on Amazon.
Can I ask a question? Do we have the projector?
We do. Hopefully it still works.
I have
Is it the
one.
one we use at the
Yeah,
land
I've
use
used yours before.
No, I think that's Andrew's.
It might have been. Is
I
that
also
yours?
have,
That's
I also
Andrew's.
have one we
computer that's using
The projector is
Yeah.
what you see.
Okay, but we have access to projectors. And there is one in the office, but whether or not it works, we don't know.
So I was planning to do use a projector next week. So
Should we like make sure that works?
He'll bring his own.
If it doesn't work, then now's the time to. But it's too late because it's not in the agenda.
Yeah.
Huh?
Right.
So it's 417.
So up to 500.
Well, no,
So-
400 or 25.
But this is portable, right?
This would be portable.
So, well, the benefit of that is that we could move it into our office and lock it up.
Yes,
The not so benefit of that is that nobody else can get to use it, who needs it.
unless they make arrangements.
True.
But then anybody who does use it could leave the building with it. Not like the person who's borrowing it, but that anyone who was there or someone who wandered into the building could walk off with it. And it's not a part of the building if it's portable.
True. The neighborhood council has a lot of items that are portable that we allow the community to borrow and use because we're the neighborhood council and that's what we're here for, like the PA system. And so
They sign out
they sign out,
Sign
there's a process.
Okay.
Usually we know the people, so it hasn't really been a problem. I think there's been some items in the past where they walked away, but for the most part, yeah.
So just to clarify, it's the same size screen, it's just the difference is portable and on the wall.
There are other brands that are less expensive too, and you 100% want 120 inches.
No, I just got the biggest one I could find because I knew that, you know, when we do those PowerPoint things for EDLU, biggest, you know, bigger would be.
I think it's gonna be a really useful item for the neighborhood council and it will save a lot of paper.
Yes.
I think it also looks good.
Yeah.
We have our stuff behind us, and if people,
Yeah.
stakeholders sitting down can see what we're talking about. I think that'd be great.
yeah, a lot of councils I've been to, they do that. So it's
I would vote for whatever's cheaper and larger. So if that's a wall mounted thing and bigger, put that up on the wall.
So you have the committee meetings or the license meetings?
Land use committee meetings don't fit in that room, and there's absolutely no reason that we should be getting shoved in there because the person who runs this building got forgetful and double booked the room. That's ridiculous, and that will not stand and it will not continue anymore, and we're gonna make sure of it as a board at the next
So hopefully
meeting.
you'll have, access to this main part.
We need to have, yeah, our land use committee meetings need to have 30 community members sitting in the chairs and raising
Yeah,
objections
I
to
think it
these
should be
projects
permanent.
every
Oh, yeah.
time.
I think permanent rather than, mobile's nice, but we're just going between here and there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it also gives us more reason to say, no, we're not meeting in that room. The equipment is out here. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm fed up
So
with this getting shoved in the
Let's
kitchen
get back to the
last time.
agenda item, so
Yeah.
in front of us is 11F, up to 250, is 250 sufficient for the pull down screen?
Yes.
Yes, if it's mounted. Okay, so would somebody like to make the motion?
I make a motion, we approve 11F,
Up to
for one
250.
pull down screen.
Okay, would somebody like a second?
I'll second.
Heather seconds?
Oh, wait, can you?
No, I can't.
I second.
You can second.
Can
You can
I? I just can't vote.
Oh, is that true?
I don't know.
If we're worried about it, I can
she's
second.
eligible to vote. She can
She's
second.
been on a full vote, she can second.
Sounds good.
It's just putting a motion, formalizing the motion.
Okay, so we're calling that Heather second then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jamie is a backup.
I third.
All right. Laura,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Sandy. Oh, that's right. Brian,
Yes.
Marge, yes, Ben.
Yes.
And that'll be it.
So,
We need to, like I said earlier,
Check with Mel and make sure that we're.
We'll
it's
get the
a
confirmation.
GSD thing.
Yeah,
General
yeah.
services will have to install this for us.
Oh, so do we need to approve extra for the installation?
No, we went
No.
through this with the bulletin board, and so we know the process.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we need to go back to 11G, because there was a second component of G, which is the
yeah.
discussion and possible action up to 2,000 for a wall-size mural street map with Glassell Park.
So wait, that's part of G?
It's typo.
We'll make it GI or
Um,
something?
what we'll just
G
do
or
is
GB.
Because we already voted on G.
Yeah, yes, so we're gonna reconsider
G part two.
G part two.
G is the refrigerator, G part two.
I have a question about that.
Okay, so this item was submitted also by Marge.
Sorry? This?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Marge submitted this item, and I believe you've spoken to Mel about it, so can you tell us a little bit more about this item?
I was just thinking, and I have for a couple of years now, thought that it would be really great if we had a large map of Glassell Park that's accurate for streets, that everybody could reference, because how many millions of times have we had discussions about where is that, now what intersection, you know, it just goes on and on and on. It's not just land use, it's all sorts of stuff that comes up. So my thought was to see if one of those people, those companies that make custom murals could just blow up a map. And sure enough, they can. This amount of $2,000 is way high. Because I thought it was a 15 by 10 wall, and it's an 8.5 by 10.5 wall. So it actually is $675 for the mural. General Services could send out a couple of people to, you mount it like wallpaper. They do have self-stick, but apparently that size gets really unwieldy and hard to put up. Clean. Would go on that yellow wall.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's great.
Because that wall is the only wall that doesn't have a door or a window in it. And it would fill it, and it would be just it would center the map of Glassell Park, and just whatever around it is necessary to make it a semi-square. And it would take, CD1, Mel helped me measure the wall. He's all for it. He said he would contact General Services, and what was the other thing? General Services for that, and something else. One thing I thought of was that maybe we would want to consider some kind of clear surface in front of it, like plexiglass or something, that would accept dry erase markers, so that we could actually use it to draw what we're talking about, and it would protect it from things like tables being put against it, and it would also allow us to, kind of work with it.
Do you think we could afford the plexiglass in the amount that you put here?
Well, 2,000 certainly would be more than enough for the mural, the installation,
and the plexiglass,
and
maybe a set of markers,
yeah,
and a little tray to hold the markers,
What
and an
about
eraser.
licensing?
it will disappear.
And the lockbox.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Marge, what about the licensing of the map image?
The map would come from city engineering.
Oh,
The Department of Engineering has a maps division, and I got in touch with them long ago to get an accurate city map, so we can get these. Right?
Not that it has to, but would it be a neighborhood council specific map with the areas in it, or in different colors, or no?
I would imagine it could possibly be requested.
We could, it would have to be the map that they made for us, I would imagine.
That would be
Because, I was thinking that, I have the one that the city just did with the new council districts, whereas only 3 is ours, and there's, 13, and where's 1, but that changes every 10 years. So I just thought maybe something that was just a black and white,
I think it should be neutral, but I think political.
just a black and white map might,
Especially that will change.
well, the CDs for sure will change
So
within.
just so we're clear, we can get the map from the city. However, it's sent to this company, and they do the large format printing, and then General Services will do the installation. Is that the
Yes.
process?
Yes,
Okay.
and then we have to decide if we want to coat it, a cover on it.
Yeah, so that will be permanently up there. My take on this is that what I've seen neighborhood councilors do is that they get blow up maps at that size, and they put it on easels so that the map is there.
Right.
The reason why I mentioned that is that maybe not this administration, but some administrations will say, hey, we want to change our name to something else, and so it's a whole new different map. But also, in case you guys want to change your boundaries, so just keep that in mind. how permanent you want to keep something up.
Glassell Park's been,
I think the idea is that it's just Glassell Park, that it wouldn't be our neighborhood council
Oh,
map.
okay.
yeah.
It would just be the perimeter of Glassell Park, which is
Yeah.
bounded by, you know, I mean, among
Yeah.
other things, the
Highland
river
Park,
and
Eagle
Glendale,
Rock.
it's not gonna, that won't change.
Okay, so, does somebody want to make the motion?
George,
Yes,
is that engineering scope?
pardon me?
Is that engineering? For the
Department of Engineering has a maps division.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted to know what their
Well,
quote
what-
was.
Why would they charge you so much?
Oh, no, that's the company that makes the mural. There's a,
Printing.
it's for printing it on vinyl.
Because they could also do it.
That big? Really?
They're printing themselves?
I'm not sure that they have the correct paper to like wrap the wall, which is essentially what we're doing.
They have a big printing company.
Yeah.
You should see the print.
Aren't we just voting up to, and then the agreement can be that we do the lowest cost option?
Well, yeah, it's giving quality, I mean, this is something that's on it. It's
It
on
needs
some
to not
kind
be pixelated or
We're like-
anything.
Right.
I hate it when I see things big and it's all pixelated and it's like,
Oh, no, it has to be like the highest resolution they
Yeah.
can send me. But this thing would be. It. I just think that it would behoove us to have it super giant, so that everybody can see it at the same time, and you can use a laser pointer, you know, you can, I love it.
I think it's a great idea.
I agree, I think it's a great idea, my only worry is that, like, coming up, we're gonna have the Fletcher Street project, and the map's gonna be outdated within, you know, a year. for
Wait,
that
in
one
what way?
part.
But
Fletcher's gonna be Fletcher.
It's just gonna have like a.
So if we're getting the map from the Department of Engineering, isn't it gonna be a very technical map?
Oh, no, it's a street map like a Thomas Brothers guy.
Okay,
It's a plain old map.
gotcha, so it's not,
Not like Google.
It's not gonna show medians and bike
gotcha,
lanes.
okay,
No, it's just a street map with all the street names on it.
cool, okay.
And, you know,
We could always just
certainly,
write road diet.
On the plexiglass. Okay, let's close discussion then. Does somebody want to make a motion? Okay, so the motion, just for clarification, can you state your motion, please?
My motion is to approve the up to $2,000 for the wall size mural street map of Dawson Park for the community center wall.
Okay, great. Is somebody gonna second that?
Can I second?
Second. Sandy seconds. So this is item, just as clarification, Marge, it's item 11G.
11G2.
11G. We're only acting on one part of the item.
okay, but I'm gonna have two sheets of paper that say 11G.
11G,
I have one that says,
it's moved because it wasn't acted on anyways.
okay, so this is audio. Okay.
So the only part of G that we're acting on is approving up to $2,000 for the wall size mural.
Wall
Okay,
mural
so
up to $2,000.
is there any further discussion? Okay, we're ready for a vote.
Okay, Laura,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Heather, oh, sorry. Patrick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Sandy, sorry. Brian,
Yes.
Marge, yes. Ben,
Yes.
Dave.
So before we move on to the next item, because we do need to keep a running tally of where we're at, it looks like before that item, we were at 4559. Is that correct?
Oh, I wasn't doing grip rails on the pull down screen. Is that where you at?
So we approved grip rails, pull down. I have 4559, but I could be wrong.
I have
because don't know
4548, but I was off before.
Yes.
So we started 11 with 4934.12. Okay, so we approved $125 for the grip rails, which brings us to 4809.12. And then we approved $250 for the pull down screen. So what does that put us at?
I'm doing the addition on my own.
$45.59.
Wait.
Okay, so, as far as the up to $2,000 for the map, what do you think is the most realistic figure for what that will truly cost?
I don't know what general services might or might not charge us, because CE1 might pay that. The additional cost over the $675 for the mural itself would be for the, whatever the dry erase capable, clear, protective,
And mounting.
that would be the general services.
Yeah, but plus the mounting over the plexiglass, for the plexiglass.
Oh, yeah,
So it'd be the map and then plexiglass.
yes, and then it would have to be,
Okay, so the reality is we could get.
it could be less, but it could be about that.
About that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to make sure that we spend the money that we need to spend. Because
What's our
if it's
total?
675 and we approve up to 2,000, then there's a big gap that could be
Right.
swept.
And I don't know about what it would cost us for clear, dry erase capable cover for it.
It's pretty expensive
Yes.
in my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Particularly if
plexiglass
you get it thick enough.
surprisingly expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may wanna lay off that just do that.
I mean,
So
but we have like 5,000 something.
we're at 4,559.12.
If we include the 2,000, we should be at 42,57,57.
That's how much we spent. She's counting back.
I'm counting backwards. So I know when we get to zero, we're in a good place.
Okay.
Right. So at 2,000, it brings us down to 2559, is that correct?
Okay, can somebody keep a running total, since I'm
The
obviously
running
failing
up
at this?
total, I have that.
Running down to zero.
Tell me the starting number. I will, as the interim treasurer, be
come on,
happy to
treasurer.
do the numbers. Tell me the starting
Okay, so we're
number.
starting at 4934.12. Okay? We approved 125 for the grip rails, so deduct that.
But I also have to take out these things up at the top, right?
No, that's already been calculated in the 4934.12.
Oh. You're making my job easy. Thank you.
So 4934.12 less 125 less 250 less 2,000.
Okay. 25,59,12.
Okay, next up, item H, discussion possible action to approve up to $175 for replacement doors and lock for bulletin board. Marge, you got a quote for this?
Yes.
And that's the exact number for shipping and tax and everything else?
It's close, it'll cover it.
That's a good idea.
We need to get 2 sets of doors so that we have them on hand the next time they get broken.
They won't, and I have a feeling they're not broken because there was no shards of plexiglass anywhere to be found near
And the lockers completely gone.
the,
So we have doors stolen.
we've had doors removed, yes. Semantic. Jen,
Well put.
okay, so I'd like to make a motion,
I'll make a
Ben makes a motion.
Second.
motion.
Any seconds, okay. Any further discussion? Okay, let's vote.
Just as a side note, I spoke with the woman at Siegel Displays and she said, I know I can get you lock replacements, but windows? And she couldn't believe that the windows were gone. And then she called her manufacturer and he said, yeah, absolutely, you can provide just the windows and the lock and not, but he's out of town for the next 10 or 12 days, so this won't, I can have an invoice from her, but not a.
It's fine, as long as we allocate the funds, we're good.
We just have to request the money?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want the new running total?
Yes, please.
23,84,12.
We should have voted.
Oh, right, sorry.
Okay, is there a discussion on that?
No.
Laura?
Yes.
Annie?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Sandy? Sorry. Brian?
Yes.
Marge, yes. Ben?
Yes.
That's 8. Okay, so that's 175.
Okay, we have 23,84,12.
Okay, so, as part of this agenda item, Tom, I had a question. Do we have to order our business card from Citi? So can we use our logo, can we use the city logo on cards that are printed?
I think you can.
Okay, so we can order them from Staples or Overnight Prints or whoever.
Or the place about that.
You can check on it.
The smart key, I can check us.
So what I need to say, estimate. On Overnight Prints.
Overnight.
Yeah,
You mean they're done overnight?
that's the other company.
Oh, okay.
Just as an estimate. Okay, so discussion and possible action for GPNC board member business
Check it
cards.
for you.
Is this out of this money now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the past, we've ordered them from the city, and the city printer is really expensive. Like, it would probably cost almost $1,000 for all of our business cards.
Like, and they won't make less than what, 500 or 1,000 cards?
It's not even, it's like 500 cards, and it's like, I don't know, the pricing is really wacky. So, now that we've gotten clarification that we can order business cards.
Checking.
Oh, you're checking, okay.
I make a recommendation on that, that we have to use a certain template and that's it.
What? Well, we use the template that's already been created.
Yeah, I mean, we don't make up glittery ones with 3D logos on the back and dogs barking on
No,
them.
they're gonna look similar to the one that Jim handed out.
So
We can't design our own?
no. So I found, I ordered a business card for myself last year, and I found a place that does print it on two sides. It's just one sided.
One side.
Okay, the quote I have for two sides was $40 for 1,000, and that's just down the street. They're really
Full color?
full color. It was even foil print. It looked really nice.
Embossed.
No,
But that's expensive, but that's $40.
$40 for 1,000 printed on both sides with foil.
Oh, both sides.
So ours will be less,
So those are like $20 per.
probably. They're Axiom designs. They're quite fair.
Okay. All right, so that's putting us at like 300. If they all go to $20 per 1,000 on both sides.
Do you think the cost would split in half though? 'Cause it's the same amount of paper, just less ink. So it doesn't seem like it would be 20 for 1,000. It would probably be less than 40, but not seriously.
I want to say 30 for safety.
Yeah,
Take that.
so we could do up to 500, safe.
And I can get an anchor quote again on the cards.
So, would somebody like to make a motion for business card?
Do we need to discuss like quantity or any of that? I know some people use them wantonly, and I probably would use 10, you know? It's not like.
I think board members can either opt in or out.
Right.
But I will say that they are really great to have, they're great outreach.
Oh, I'm not debating that, I'm just saying, do we need 1,000 or do we need 500?
So just to reiterate from this place here, the difference in cost between 500 and 1,000 is $5.
Alright.
Okay, well that kind of answers the question about how much they're charging for the paper.
Yeah, so if we do a lot of outreach events, there's a lot of opportunities to give away. So the more you have, the more you can give
So I'll
away.
try to find out. You guys want to allocate money first and then figure it out?
I mean, this card from the city is really nice, as they emboss the logo and then it's thermography for the type, so it has a nice feel to it. But I don't know if you can get that.
I think I know why they're expensive, because look, it's a union, I kind of want to support the unions. See on the back, it says SCIU Local 347, it's so tiny.
Do you have your big picture?
I don't have it on, oh, it's way better than this. Way better, it's thicker too.
Oh.
Okay, so, any further discussion on this item? Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
And Jamie brought up a point, there's a union bug on this thing and they may not want you printing it somewhere else.
You could. Other councils have printed.
Yeah,
So
I think
Yeah,
Eagle
there's
Rock
options.
did like overnight.
A lot of
Don't
councils.
cross that.
Okay, so, the from the calculations, $30 per thousand, right?
I'll need 5.
So, that's 450, so including tax and Is it local to pick up?
Local to town street.
Okay, so including tax, would 500 be enough to cover that?
$45 is 10%.
15 board members.
15 board members.
Are we at all gonna do business cards for any of the committee people?
We haven't.
So 450 plus a tax on that, 450, 10%, and then 45 is 50.
500.
500.
So 500?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the motion was made up to 500?
Yes.
Okay, with that, Samantha second.
I second. Monkey does.
That's Laura, you're the motion, and Ben, you're second?
Yep.
Any other discussion?
Is that a motion to spend up to $500 on board member business cards?
For the entire board.
What do we need, is there any, if we can, I mean, $500 isn't gonna do it if we have to go to the city.
I don't think we have to.
You guys are going through city.
No.
We don't
Other
have to-
neighborhood councils have business cards printed
With
by
the city
other-
logo on them?
Yes.
That one I'm trying to get clarity.
I'm not sure.
Because when I made my own, I used this logo and didn't put the city logo on it because I didn't feel that I had the right, but because I was making my own.
But I mean, the argument could be we print our agendas on through Staples and it has the city logo on it, so.
We are official city, I don't know,
We are a charter of the city.
yeah. I mean, we're not lying about who we are and what our capacity is.
Yeah, we have, when we use we can use the logo in official capacity, which includes
The city's website has a page of logos you can just pull off of it to use if you need, if you need, like, I've used them on ads for whatever.
Okay, so, let's take this to a vote.
Okay, so approving board member business card printing up to $500. Laura,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Sandy, sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Ben.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, so what does that bring us to? What is it?
I had to equal. It is 1884, 12.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh, this next one is gonna go negative.
Okay, so, motion, I'd like to, I'd like to do K first and then J. Actually, I'd like to do K and L out of order and then come back to J. Is there anybody opposed to that?
Oh, I just got the word back.
Okay.
So yes, we could do it, but we need to approve the design.
Oh, we have the design.
Let me just say exact design. Who approves it? You approve it?
This is this was.
Paula?
Done?
I have the templates from the last time.
Okay, perfect.
So the answer is yes, you can use the city logo, but you don't need the city printed.
So we send it to you then? Perfect, okay.
Even if we use the same template, could we choose if we want light letters on dark background or vice versa, as long as it's the same design? I feel like a white business card with black text, it looks so like,
Official.
Okay, well, the agenda item wasn't part of the design, it was just really approval, so we can discuss the design in the future. Okay, so, was there anybody opposed to me taking K and L out of order? Okay. So the motion is this motion is coming from the outreach committee, and they're related to one another, so the motion is to approve monthly and quarterly newsletters. It was part of the attachment package that was circulated earlier, if you guys wanna look through that. There's also a sample of what the newsletter would look like.
There's 3 of those things floating around.
Yeah, they're just be floating around.
and if Molly didn't say it, it was what we discussed and decided on by the outreach committee.
Yeah, so it's a formal motion put together by the outreach committee.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the supplementals.
There was a shortage of supplements
Yeah.
because of a printing error
I know, our printer.
by our printers, non-union.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
Saved paper.
Does anybody need to see it?
Can I ask a point of clarification? Is the $250 a one-time, or is that $250 each time it's printed?
So I don't have that in front of me, but I think there's a difference between the months where, oh, thank you. Okay, so there's two types of newsletters, okay, so, trying to figure out which part I need to read. Okay, so the motion is to approve a monthly and quarterly newsletter. The second part of that motion is to approve funding to print 8 monthly newsletters and 4 quarterly newsletters. The 8 monthly newsletters would be single page, 8.5 by 11, front back. The quarterly newsletters would be an 11 by 14 print. So it'd be 1 to 4 page newsletters that will be done quarterly. The printing costs for the 8.5 by 11 for 1,000 is $220. For 500 is $120. That's color. Black and white would be 80 for 1,000, 60 for 500. For the 11 by 17, it'd be color on one side, black and white on the inside, and for 500 copies, that's $250. So the maximum that we'll spend per month on our newsletter is $250.
That was only for 500 copies though?
Yeah, that's for 500, yes, for the quarterly.
I thought we were gonna print more than that, but,
I think,
500 quarterly newsletters 4 times a year, 2,000.
oh, okay.
So are we
For some reason I thought it
are
was
we voting on 2,000 total or are we voting on 250?
we are going to, my suggestion is that we vote for the July newsletter and then put it in front of the board for funding as part of the budget for the new fiscal year. And I think that's how it's on the agenda.
So Mark, you won't be using this year's, this 2016 funds for the monthly and quarterly newsletter.
Yeah, so the recommendation is for us as a governing body to approve going forward that we will do monthly and quarterly newsletters. The second component of that is the funding component, and that is only for July, because we have our next fiscal year starting and we can include that as part of our budget.
Okay, that makes sense.
Molly, will the distribution be the boxes throughout the community?
Yes. Do you want to speak to that? One of our co-chairs?
Sure. So we were talking about different ways of getting it out to people, and I think one of the reasons we also decided to just do 1 month is kind of a testing. So each area rep will then determine within their own area what are highly populated trafficked areas, put out a what's the outreach box? Is that what they call it? The outreach box in those areas, and then see how much they're actually taken. If a lot are taken and they're kind of sold out, we're going to see if we can up them. If not, then we'll go the opposite way and see if this is actually necessary.
Didn't we also mention leaving some at schools?
Yep.
As a benefit?
Yeah, so schools, local businesses, to our neighbors, at the meetings, and also in the outreach boxes.
Exactly.
But we also
Right,
discussed needing more boxes.
Yeah, that will be something for a future.
Is that because this item says up to 250, we can't change that number?
This is specifically for printing the newsletters, not for buying outreach boxes. So
Yeah, because
this
it doesn't say for the newsletters, it's to print, so that's why it's like very specific.
Yeah. So this is a sample. This is a sample of the 8.5 by 11. So this would be the front, and then this would be the back. Each area rep, each rep would have the opportunity to provide an update, but you can also present at the meeting. So this would be the monthly newsletter, and then the quarterly newsletter would be double the size.
So would the July one be a quarterly or a single?
I think the July is a quarterly, actually. Is it? Did I get that wrong?
January, March, July, I would think.
The dates are detailed on. It is. So, yes, it will be a quarterly, and we'll do 500 copies for 200. We could do 500 copies for 200 people. And it would be color one side, black one
So
So it's a quarterly special one sheet, like monthly style.
the other way around.
Quarterly is
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, if it's the big 4-page one, that'll be more money.
It's 250 for 500.
Oh, wow.
So August, September, November, December, February, March, May, June, they'll all be single sheets, front and back. October, January, April, July, they're gonna be quarterlies. And then again, the price difference, so 8.5 by 11 color would be either 220 or 120. Black and white would be either 80 or 60, and that's monthly. And then for quarterly, for 500 copies, $250. Does that make sense?
It's reasonable.
And this was the recommendation in lieu of doing like 2 major newsletters throughout the year. We felt like it was really important to kind of keep contact.
Yeah. Newsletters are very important. I mean, you know, if you're going out in the community during whatever month, that's great to have. And
The idea was that if we have like a one sheet, it's a lot easier for people to pick up and take a look at and read. We do a one sheet more often as opposed to doing a huge 8-pager, you know, a couple times a year. I think we can get more people engaged that way.
yeah.
So, you want to vote on K first, I would imagine, to approve the monthly and quarterly before we begin to finance it.
Yeah, because of the funding component, we can do it as 2 separate items to allow the opportunity to vote. Okay.
You
Somebody
mean
wanna-
2 separate, like monthly and quarterly?
No, so the motion would be, so
Okay.
K is a motion and then L is a motion.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so 11K is a motion to approve doing monthly and quarterly newsletters that will be overseen by the outreach committee.
Yeah. So somebody wanna bring that motion forward?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
So Jamie and Beth. Any further discussion on item K?
Oh, and everybody knows this.
Yes.
So we're approving that we are going to be doing this system that we discussed, but we're not voting on how much it'll cost, which means that would possibly be able to include that we plan to do more of the boxes, but not how many or what it will cost.
So that can be on any future agenda.
Yeah, so the motion to approve the monthly quarterly newsletters would allow the outreach committee to start the process in building those newsletters and collecting content because the board has approved that action. The second component allows us to spend up to $250 so that we can print the first newsletter.
Well, my motion was just for K though,
Yes.
right? But what I'm asking is, can the concept that we need more boxes, because that's the whatever you call it, medium for the newsletters, can that concept be included in this?
It needs to come back on the agenda as a separate line item.
But just for the funding, just like these will need to come back for funding.
Funding can happen all year long.
Yeah.
Every agenda can happen.
So if you submit, say, I, Jamie, request that we buy 10 outreach boxes, then that would be included on the agenda. Or the outreach committee could say, we want you to buy X number of outreach boxes, and it's set on the agenda. So the request just needs to be made for it to go on the agenda. Once it's on the agenda, then the board can act on it.
I guess I just thought that we talked about the boxes at the outreach meeting, so that was kind of subsumed in the idea.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, there may be some in the closet.
Oh, okay. There's that.
Okay, so, all right.
Okay, ready for any
Yes.
further discussion on K, the motion to approve monthly and quarterly newsletters? All right, Laura?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Heather? Yes. Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Molly? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Ryan? Marge, yes. Ben?
Yes.
Okay, that's 10.
Okay, so next item L. We want to bring that forward, bring it forward. Laura, needs a motion to floor, somebody second it?
Second.
Laura, not
Motion,
motion.
and Patrick did the second?
Any further discussion? Okay.
All right, so this one is funded.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
John?
Yep.
Molly?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Marge, yes. Ben?
Yes.
Okay, that's 8.
So, I have a new total for us. $16.34.
Did you approve national?
Okay, so we're going back to,
Switch the order.
yeah, so we're going back to item J. This is our last funding item this evening on the agenda. This is for the National Night Out event.
Was this the touch and truck thing?
Yes.
That was really good. That was the best thing we had.
Oh, the touch and truck
Hun-
thing was at the National
Hundreds of
Night Out?
people
Yeah.
walking into this parking lot.
Wait, what is this?
Gravel.
Well, we had,
So you could like touch a fire truck.
We had
Touch,
trucks with the
whatever
fire
fire truck.
engines out there. There were kids, there was
See it,
hundreds of
touch it.
people in this parking lot, eating and going, it was wild.
What's your event, Jim? When is it?
August 4th.
That was a classic.
So what we
Say
did,
somewhere we were gonna do one of two dates?
yeah, so the text of the motion is, allows us some flexibility. The official National Night Out, there's 2 dates for the official National Night Out, which is either August 2nd or October 4th. October 4th is for states that are like really, really hot, and they just can't do an event in August, like Texas and
California.
So,
Oh,
so there are,
national.
so there are
I
those 2 dates if we choose to participate in the official National Night Out. The other option is that we just have a Glass Hill Park Night Out.
When was your night, when was that night out, the last one?
It was August.
Okay,
It was August.
that was fine.
And because it's sort of every year the fiscal year starts and ends at the same time, obviously, so it creates kind of a funky funding situation. So last time we approved some of the funding in this fiscal year and some of the funding in the next fiscal year and separated it out. And so there's that opportunity again at this point, if the board chooses to.
Wait, so can I ask, Molly, you guys did this before, right? Because usually, so you pay for half of it for this fiscal year, funds, and for the half of it.
What we did last time was we paid for a lot of the outreach. So we paid for like social media advertisements, flyers, posters, all of the things that we need in order to get the word out for the event. And then in the next fiscal year, we approved the event-specific items like the stage, the food, those types of
The
items.
funding was okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure.
I actually emailed them and clarified before we did that, and they said it was fine.
Okay.
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we have 163412 left in this year's budget. Do you want to maybe go ahead and put this towards outreach, and then for the next fiscal year we put towards actually the stage and all the other stuff required? And then whatever, I think we should leave ourselves a little bit of a buffer for cash on hand.
We have to spend all of the money,
All
like, down to the penny.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can't
otherwise-
keep anything,
Right?
nothing
Do you
will
recall what the budget was last year?
It was about the same, the up to was about the same, but we didn't
We
spend
didn't spend that much.
nearly that much.
And you're saying we have to spend all this money, but if we left $5 in there, that's all we lose, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So can we,
So get organic hot dogs and organic hamburgers.
No.
You know?
Vegan hot
Treat the
dogs.
neighbors really nice.
Vegan.
We will.
the 163412 is remaining, could we, knowing that some of the stuff that we've already approved is going to be less, could we say 1650 or 1700, or can we not even?
My suggestion is that we go over and above.
That's
So
what
we'll
I
go
would think.
up to, just as an example, up to $3,000, which gives us
The
room
ability,
to sweep up from everything else that doesn't cost as much as we expected to.
but can we do that by Friday?
Well, all we have to do is submit the paperwork and the funding request to the department and then they start the process. So it doesn't all have to be like, here's
We
your
don't have
credit
to
card,
have
spend
the
it.
abs, but we don't even have to have the absolute like dollar and penny on, like for instance, though I won't know from general services what it may or may not cost us for 2 guys to come here with wallpaper paste.
We need to allocate the funds.
Right.
So the department needs to know we are spending this amount of money on this item.
Right.
And whether or not we spend that exact, we've allocated those funds to that funding item, and therefore the money will not be swept, right?
Yeah, so we need tomorrow everything turned in as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, so we'll have to like, yes.
Can I have just a point of clarification on that? So does that mean that like for this map, $2,000 is allocated for that? If we spend $1,500, then that $500 is lost because it was only allocated for that thing?
No, because what we can do then is it only costs $1,500, right? So then this, for example, we've approved up to $3,500. And so therefore, we can spend that additional money on this item.
You mean because we're approving more than we have in this
Yes.
year's budget?
Yes.
Okay. Why did it go down so much from 75?
Well, because we don't have nearly that much money to spend. So it'll have to go back before the board again in the new fiscal year.
And so then, pulling the number out, 3,000, 3,500, if we don't end up getting that much from everything else, what do we lose by doing that?
We wouldn't lose anything because let's say, for example, that we really do only have 1884.12, then that's exactly what we would spend on that. We can't overspend our bank account.
So by saying that we're allotting this much money to it, even if we don't have that, we're not gonna,
Just say you're spending up to.
oh great, then yeah, let's do
Well,
it.
do you guys have like invoices ready to go? Like breakdown how much things are?
Yeah, I mean, I have them as part of the,
Okay,
yes,
so we'll need that.
yes. I'll get the event stuff ready.
I have estimates, I don't have, because I didn't order anything on this.
Yeah, the estimate should be fine.
So we're at 1634.12 when we take the 250 away from L.
Okay,
So what do we want to say up to on this? 2,000,
I would suggest
25, 3? Whatever. 37,000.
Just go.
up to, what do you guys think?
2,500.
Is there any word about, like which night we're gonna choose? Because that makes a big difference in terms of how much money we're able to come up with. Because we'll have plenty of meetings before October 4th.
We'll also have one in August. We have one we have one next week, and we have another one in July.
July, yeah. I think that there's enough time if we start our outreach now that we can get the word out for a really great event.
I think it makes a
So
whole lot more.
August 2nd isn't too soon.
Not if we put the work in.
Okay.
So, what is this, who wants to make the motion and who wants to arrive at a number?
I'll make a motion for 3,500, fair to go bigger than smaller, right?
Yes.
Okay, 3,500.
I second.
Up to, right?
Up
Yeah,
to.
two.
I second that.
Brian's a second, and. Okay, discussion, anyone, further?
Just a friendly amendment to, never mind, we're good.
Okay.
We have a visitor.
Hi. I'm the cleaning crew. I'm not sure if you want to start early or I can come back later.
You can start, we're finishing up.
Okay.
Yeah,
No problem.
thank you.
Okay, ready to vote? Laura,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Brandon, he said Sandy and Brian all at once. Brian,
Yeah.
me, yes, Ben,
Yes.
Nancy.
Great. Okay, next up, item N, so set nominations, select Gossamer Park Neighborhood Council representatives for the Alliance of River Communities. The Alliance of River Communities represents the communities that surround us, Seco, Atwater, Royal Heights, Eagle Rock, Legion Valley, Echo Park. They meet semi-regularly to discuss issues that impact all of our communities. They haven't met in a while. I know that they're planning to meet again. I think the next meeting is actually on the 20th. In my experience, the alliances present a really great opportunity to connect with neighboring neighborhood councils and take positions on issues that impact us all. And they have a very strong weight at City Hall. So I think it's really important that we're well represented at the Alliance of River Communities. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
I would like to do that.
Like multiple board members can attend.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Anybody can attend the meetings, but if you want to be an official representative, of course you're going to miss meetings, so. And Patrick?
Yeah, I think it's important, and I'd be willing to be on the representative.
Okay, so we have Patrick and Laura who step forward. Isn't there anybody else? We can have two.
Well, they were the first.
All right. So, is there anybody that abstains? Anybody that's a no? So everybody, we're a yes, we're unanimous.
And that's not funding something to do this.
No.
Yeah. So Laura and Hector. And I'll connect you both with Hector. He's the one that is,
Is it that, is he gonna choose that date?
I don't know, I didn't talk to him yet.
Okay.
I will. Okay, the next item is budget representatives. So the budget advocates meet to discuss the city budget as a whole. From the group of representatives that are nominated by the neighborhood councils, then they also self-organize and create the budget representatives, which are like an official committee. And they do have direct access to city council and a lot of the issues that impact city of Los Angeles as a whole. This, I believe, is open to both stakeholders as well as board members. I will say that if somebody steps forward for this position, that it's a really important position if you do step forward, that you do plan to attend the meetings and report back to the neighborhood council, because otherwise then we lose our opportunity to participate.
When are the meetings?
I don't know, but I know that the next meeting is July 30th.
Okay.
And then I don't know what their budget day looks like, but
Yeah, it's so what it is that it's an opportunity if you play it out right to meet the mayor, you guys. So then what has happened in the past is that they break it up into the seven planning areas. So you guys are the east planning, you guys are central, you guys are the east planning area. So the two budget representatives here will go to budget day on July 30th. And at that meeting, you get together with the 96 neighborhood councils times 2. So that's a lot of people, 100 plus folks there, right? The idea is to have 2 representatives from each of the neighborhood councils. Get together, Miguel Santana, the CEO is there, the mayor sometimes is there to make an opening statement. But the bottom line is that you get an opportunity to weigh in on the city budget. So you'll, after the opening ceremonies, you break up into the 7 planning regions. In that planning region, you guys will discuss, hey, what are the priorities for our area, the East area? So you guys will go on behalf of Nassau Park and say what your priorities are. And then from that meeting of the region, you'll elect 2 what's called budget advocates. And those 2 budget advocates are responsible to oversee and to communicate with the budget representatives of that region. So and then those 2 budget advocates, at another time, we'll go ahead and meet with, so 7 times 2, the 14 representatives will go and meet with the mayor's office, with the mayor to talk about the priorities. So that's kind of like how it lays out for budget day.
Are the meetings generally in the evening or?
Well, budget day is by itself, but for budget advocates, they meet once a month on Monday nights. And they've been meeting in our office.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Where is that? In City Hall?
City Hall.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's if you get elected to be a budget advocate.
Oh.
You're still a budget rep for Nassau Park. So if you don't get elected as a budget advocate, you'll go and you'll be in contact with the budget advocate and representative.
But you don't go,
You don't have to go
but you can.
if you want. You won't be officially like a voting member.
So you'll just be like noticing what's happening.
Right. So the first step is a budget rep. Yeah, so you guys could go and check it out.
I'm interested.
I'm also interested.
is there anybody else that's interested?
I think you could go. Just that you 2 will be the official ones voting for the budget advocates.
I don't think that's good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to
Yeah, anybody can go, but you guys will be the official representative.
fight the voters.
I'll go and support sustainability. Andy, you'll go and
I like supporters of like education. I used to have a bachelor's in accounting, so before I became a teacher.
Used to.
Well, it doesn't go away, it's true.
Treasurer, no.
Oh, yes.
All right, so Sandy and Jamie. Anybody else? Okay, we'll go ahead and take a vote. Anybody abstain? On either party? Anybody no on either party? Everybody in agreement?
Let me ask you a question. If at any point the thing that we're supposed to do conflicts with one of our meetings that we're supposed to be at here, how's that?
You'll, what do you mean, the budget advocates?
Yeah, because like our bylaws say, you know, we miss meetings and
you lose your thing and like, you know.
Do you have to excuse absences in your bylaws?
Maybe that's something we should consider.
We don't, but the bylaws are open for change.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that would be like.
And
a
usually they
legitimate-
don't conflict, because this is a special meeting tonight, so usually our meetings are on Tuesdays, third Tuesday. Okay, so is there any official public comment? You can have anything that you'd like to say, you're welcome to say.
I gotta tell you, you got the best name tags I've ever seen. I'm not kidding, Captain knows every neighborhood council, these are the best. You should make them mandatory on everyone, they really read them. I'm serious though, some of you can't even read. My name is David Kane, I'm the executive director of America's Healthy Kids. We're a Burbank-based 501c3, and our whole game is to get kids moving. We've created an event called the Kids Fitness Challenge that we'd like to talk to you about bringing here, or, and would be even better yet, be able to get those other 5 neighborhood councils that you just spoke about to come in to do a really large event. We have had pretty good luck here. We just booked our first one with West Hills. We had one booked with the Royal Seiko, but somehow they didn't count their money right. And they're like, we can't do it. So basically what it is a large scale event, and it's designed to get kids running, kicking, dodging, throwing. It's like a kind of like a Spartan race or a battle frog, but it's for kids and their families. So we found that this works really, really well. The kids get all excited because of what it is. It's big, it's colorful, and then it's even better when we get the kids to play their parents. And that's when it really kicks in. The kids just go nuts over that, because what kid doesn't want to beat their dad in dodgeball or mom in dodgeball? So we have events in coming up in La Cañada, Pasadena, El Monte, and we just had 5 cities from the San Diego Valley just stop. And I called the guys, you're telling me you can't go with $416 for all these kids to come? So that's all right, next year. So anyway, we're here, we're coming to you, we want to talk to you about this. I'd like to come back and talk to your outreach or whoever would fund something like this. I have a flyer for you. Yes, sir.
How long does this event, well, I got a couple of questions. First of all, what's the financial, how does the financials work out on it? And then how long does it last? And how long does the event last?
Okay.
And do you bring all the equipment?
I bring everything. The event, the way we have it structured now is because it's a pretty large event. It takes 2 hours to set up and 2 hours to take down. So basically it's a 4-hour event. It's $2,500 for those 4 hours, which is really an 8-hour day. So we charge $2,500. You can bring as many kids as you want. We bring everything, everything. We bring music, we bring every piece of equipment that you see in this photo. And if you go to a larger event, like let's say if you can get a couple of other neighborhood councils to come in, that could help you reduce your costs, but could also create a larger event, because that means there's more money coming in and we can do more things. So basically it's everything you see here. We also have dodgeball, kickball, football, freeze tag, capture the flag, freeze dance, freeze tag. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We can make it as big or as small as you want. So that's.
So
So have you identified this
Oh yeah, that thing's right there. Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
So would you have, if you use that for $2,500, would you get both indoor and outdoor stuff, or that would be either one?
We could. And here's the indoor. This is the indoor. Yeah. And this is the outdoor. And what we do is we have certain piece of equipment, this piece of equipment here. And what we do is we keep one for little guys and we keep one for big guys. Because you don't want to be mixed in, believe me. I've had that issue.
Yeah, how low?
We've had babies, literally babies, cruising on. One lady, like, you cannot bring your child if he's too small. So any age, it can go out. We have parents do it, so everybody can do it. That's kind of thought was cool about it, everybody can do it.
Okay, so our outreach co-chairs have your information,
Very good.
and so, thank you for your time.
I
for
think
being
that's
here.
very cool. Sorry I came late, but
No,
I was.
you actually
timed
yourself
perfect. I was monitoring your meeting, I've never seen one go quite till 10 o'clock, and I thought, public comment was your last thing on the line. So I thought, all right, thank you, I think you're right, you know a lot of stuff.
I pretend to.
He does, he's knowledgeable, isn't he?
Technology. So then, quick three things for you guys. One quick question. Marge, do you want to know the score?
No!
Okay, number two, I just want to acknowledge Haylene back there, the new board members there. You were one of the first presidents of this neighborhood
I was
council.
the first chair for the first 2 years.
Yeah, so she's one of the
Yeah, I'm old.
wise. Okay. A couple of other things. Thank you, Molly, for just for stepping up and just for the first meeting here for everyone here. And then you mentioned the different alliances that's on here, also budget reps. I'll be sending out, and then the next meeting we'll give you some trainings, but there'll be other opportunities for you guys to collaborate regionally on other stuff as well. There's a lot of alliances out there. Brian's been involved with the Emergency Preparedness Alliance. That's, although I'll try to get at least one emergency representative from all the neighborhood councils. I heard sustainability. There's a sustainability alliance that's out there, regionally wise too. So we'll get into that. There's other opportunities for you guys to get involved.
I'm actually one of the pilot members of the Cool Block program with the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance.
Any other public comment? Gladys, you have any comments? Anybody else? Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn.
Yeah, we need some signatures from you too.
Okay. Yes, we do.
I got wind of it.
A little paperwork.